Hello, and welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 9 of our intelligence sorcery run. Last time we went through the finger runes of Rhea, the finger runes of Dio, and the finger runes of Mir, however you pronounce that, along with doing the entire quest line here at Cathedral of Manus Meter. For items, we got Miriam's Vanishing, the Crimson Seed Talisman +1, the Cerulean Seed Talisman +1, Beloved Stardust, the Sorcery's Glintstone Nail, Glintstone Nails, and Fleeting Microcosm. We got the Claws of Night, Remembrance of the Mother of Fingers, the Maternal Staff, the High Priest set, the Sorcery Cherishing Fingers, Golden Braid, Julan and Anna, and how to get that, along with a Rabbit's Cannon. And as you may see, we decided to throw on some new sorceries that we got last time, so I can show them off as we head towards the Shadow Keep. And we're just gonna ignore them. I'm just gonna beeline straight for the Shadow Keep. I'm not concerned about anything on the way there except for this. Erdtree fragments are very good. Very useful. They help us not die. And when you're running around wearing a set that looks like this, instead of anything that's metal on it, anything that helps you survive is useful and very appreciated. You can get a twin blade over that way, but for some reason it has holy damage slapped onto it. Which I've said before, holy damage isn't as bad as a lot of people try to make it out to be. But it's kind of weird to have it on a weapon that doesn't really have anything to do with holiness. Like, it's just a random twin blade, basically. If anything, I'd expect it to have fire damage on it because it's part of Mesmer's army. Alright, so Freyja's probably not here because we didn't talk to her. But we have the Hornsent here. I wonder what happens if we just entirely ignore the Hornsent. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Just to see how that goes. Hopefully better than how this is gonna go. Yep. I think that might be the first time I've ever died to the Golden Hippo, honestly. Like this boss version of it, at least. Because they're normally so easy. I just really struggle to dodge that very first attack. That one. Let's see, Glintstone Nail. 2197. How about Glintstone Nails? 2846. I rolled too late. $2,500. 3,400. Also 3,400. That damage is really good. So is that damage. Whew. That's an attack I've never seen before. So how about we... Oh. Sir, please. There's no need for this. There's absolutely no need for you to try to kill me. Unless you're one of Mesmer's men. Like, I've dodged that twice now. Pure luck. I'm just gonna say it. Pure luck. Because I have no idea how to dodge that even now. But hey, we have almost enough for a level. And we got to show these three off. Performance issues? No. Such a thing is utterly inconceivable. We have not been abandoned. Mesmer is the son of Queen Merica. Her grace would never abandon her own flesh and blood. Isn't there a piece of dialogue where she fully admits that she'll abandon her own children? I think it's one of the things that Melina says at a Church America. That was pretty good. I'm really bad at remembering details. But it's like, become whatever you want to be it a lord, be it a god. But if you fail to become anything at all, then you'll just be another sacrifice. Something generally along those lines. $22, $27, $30. Teehee. Alright, so I've never actually used these three: Fleeting Microcosm, Glintstone Nail, and Glintstone Nails. But they're holding their own. They are definitely holding their own. I'm not going to do it while recording, but I do have a whole thing set up to test different weapons and spells. By using this set of grace right here, Gatefront, because there's an enemy like right here that you can easily sneak up on and attack them while they just aren't aware of you, and it's very easy to just test things out there and go from enemy to site of grace very easily and quickly. That way you can run the numbers and figure out what's the most powerful, what's the most FP efficient, And I might do that. For Dark Souls 1, I haven't uploaded it yet, but I did fully record and edit. And it's entirely done. A tier list for all the different sorceries. Along with miracles and pyromancies. And yeah, out of the 3 new ones, I have a Duelist Moonblade because it's really, really good. I mean, just absolute top tier sorcery. I'll never get tired of it. I'll never not use it. It's the best. But I've done that, and I'm eventually going to do that for all the games. And so I will do that for Elden Ring eventually. Just not yet. And I'll probably focus on Night Rain content first when that comes out. Because I haven't done any Elden Ring single weapon class runs yet. I haven't recorded them. Because I do that whenever a new game comes out. But I didn't really do recordings back then, so that's not something that I thought of at the time. But I'm probably... I was gonna say, no, there's wrong sorcery. I'm probably going to do a lot of Night Rain content when that comes out. Because it'll be the first game that comes out after I've started this. And I'd like to not be late to that. Hello, good sir. Mind holding this for me? Alright, so... Carrion Regal Scepter plus 10. 80 int. 14 Erdtree Blessings. With a charged Glintstone Nail, and it one-shots those guys here. What about Glintstone Nails? Does tapping that work? It certainly works when they're unaware of you, so that's good. What about when they are aware of you? Oof. I don't know if one missed, or if it's just barely not enough. But it's definitely not guaranteed, that's for sure. And this is a little shortcut. Not a massive shortcut, but it can help a little bit if you want to come back to do this, or head down into the lower section. I'm not sure where he was going. Because it wasn't to me. I think he just heard the combat and wanted to get there as fast as possible. But something I suggested doing when getting to this area Alright, so fleeting microcosm, very good for enemies that like to slow walk towards you or who are unaware. Because let's check this out. 26 FP. That's not the best. Like, it's 2 more than Comet. But it explodes twice. And exploding twice is pretty good. What I was gonna say was, what I suggest is going here, getting that set of grace, not resting at it, so that way the enemies stay dead. But then coming down here, always send the elevators back, just in case. Fleeting Microcosm might honestly be better. Like the best sorcery for this. We can assist Hornsent or Leda. I'm gonna go with Leda. And I'm gonna sit back and let the dialogue play out.
Worthy Hornsent, I will dispose of you before your thirst for revenge beckons our undoing. I can no longer trust your word.
In the end, I knew this day would come. The nature of your kind, I am certain, will always show itself. Given time, interfere not with my business. Zealot.
What a surprise that you should join me here. I am pleased. Now go and make yourself useful.
So, your mongrel blood shows through at last. I was Apologies. Oh, mother. Wife. And child.
Kindly Miquella never betrays a vow. Go. Your family awaits you.
And with that, he's dead. I think there was a bit more dialogue, but he died too quickly. But Felks and the braided cord set. And I would suggest using the Felks if you've never... Way up here. I would suggest using this if you've never tried it before. Because it's pretty good. I used it in a run once and it decimated a lot of enemies. It's not like crazy overpowered. It's not completely broken, but it is quite powerful. And the skill is a lot of fun if you can get it off. Really good for people who like high damage numbers and want a bit of a break from just using Comet Azure or like a colossal weapon constantly. Good dex build version of that. But then finally I would suggest going down here. Even if you're not going to do this area just yet, even if you want to continue on through the Shadow Keep, I would suggest going and doing this right away. One, just so that way you don't forget. And two, because the enemies are already dead. And that'll stop you from having to teleport to a site of grace you've already gotten, going through the enemies you've already went through, and then heading down. If you just do it here and now, you can run through without needing to kill any extra enemies. You can... When you decide to go through this area, you can just head to this site of grace right here without needing to worry. But now, Storehouse, first floor, which is the site of grace we got before. And I think I'm gonna take... I think I'm gonna take those off and keep Glintstone Nail. Just because it was a bit fun to use. Might throw on this, because this was another new one we got, so we can try that out. $19.17. Right. Now, if you run off to the right here, you can slip through here, and you can grab yourself the Bolt Drake Talisman +3. And so that's the fast, easy way of getting that. And now we can continue making our way up. And not having to worry about too much. Multiple enemies. I'm just tapping that, not holding it down. Can we hold it down? We can. Alright, so this can be charged as well. Nice. But it is a bit slower. Here, we have Ansbach. If you want to get all of his dialogue, I would actually suggest not talking to him yet. Because you can miss some of his dialogue. They hit us, but we got the spell off anyways. Uh-oh. Ow. Alright, so Cherishing Fingers doesn't seem like it's really worth it then. It's powerful, but it's slow, and the damage wasn't really that good. And I think that's the main issue with a lot of sorceries, is that they're either too slow, do too little damage, aren't worth the FP, or they're just too niche. It's always one of those four. Not sure how that thing didn't hit me, the little fireball. But not gonna complain about not getting hit. Also, it has just occurred to me that I've died twice already. in this part, when I normally barely die at all. So, we gotta stop goofing off. We've got to actually pay attention. Ah, there you are. Sir, there's no need to do that. I'm a simple sorcerer looking for knowledge. And that right there, more than anything else I said, that right there is the main problem with most sorceries, is there's just something better. It's like Cherishing Fingers, from the very little we used it there, doesn't seem awful. But there's better. Nope. 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 Like, Ajula's Moonblade is just too good. In order... It's simply too good to justify using other sorceries. Like, it's fast, it's spammable, it does a lot of damage, it inflicts a status, and a strong status in Frost at that. So it's just too good, it's too versatile. Why would you use other sorceries? I say, well, using a perfume bottle. When there are absolutely better things than perfume bottles. I didn't know they could heal. Hello, good sir. Thank you for that drop-down animation. That stopped you from attacking. It is appreciated. Hello. 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 And yeah, Glintstone Nail probably isn't as good as like Glintstone Pebble or the one that I use, Great Glintstone Shard. But it's unique, it's new. Oh. Well then. If it's not gonna one-shot, should we really use it? Dueling Shield? I actually have used the Dueling Shield in part of a run. I didn't do a full run with it, but I did part of a run with it. And it was so good. Now, it used to be even better. It got a nerf at some point. And I used it post-nerf. So, it's not even it was too strong and it got nerfed and now it's no longer good. Like, some people say that's how Rivers of Blood is. I don't know. I don't use Rivers of Blood. Rude. 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 Sir, please, there's absolutely no reason to commit such unniceties. I'm gonna steal your hat. See how nice that is. But like I said, I used it post-nerf, and it was so good that I even started playing online, because as you can maybe tell by the lack of messages, I don't play online. And I do that mostly because the bloodstains and messages I'm just not a fan of. I think things just look cleaner going through offline. Ow. And ow. But that's something I actually heard about Night Rain. And some people were disappointed that it's not going to have messages. And they did that because Night Rain is going to be faster paced. But I'm actually excited for that. Because the messages and the bloodstains were the main two reasons I don't play online. Alright. Good to know you can't spam glintstone nail. Like, you can't smoothly transition from one glintstone nail to the other like you can with a glintstone pebble. That is unfortunate. I can see the two of you up there. Can this hit? Oh, it can. I mean, if they're not gonna come down, I'm just not gonna go that way. Easy solution. Alright, so glintstone nail is neat, but the damage is just a wee bit lacking, because again, carrying a regal scepter, which is one of the best scepters, like, the only thing that I can think of that's better is the Prince of Death's staff, but for that to be good, you need high intelligence and high faith, which for that I would need to sacrifice either health, mind, or endurance. Probably a bit of two, if not all three of them, which I don't want to do. So for pure int builds, carrying a regal scepter is the best, to my knowledge. And I have 80 intelligence, and the damage is still lacking. And you can't smoothly spam them together. So it's neat, but not something that I would go for outside of themed runs, I would say. Oh, good to know. Oh! Sir? Just melee me like a normal person. Stop throwing fire. This is not Dark Souls. Fire is overrated. Use physical attacks like a normal enemy. stealing your smithing stones. Right. But something I really wish you could do in the Souls games, Jesus, was go into the settings to change.
Let me see. Fickle, fidgety little letters. I should wipe you clean off the page.
Anyways, something that I've wished for a long time to have as an option is to be able to go into the settings and to change, like, what pops up in multiplayer. So, the way that you have multiple options for the HUD, like on, auto, or off, I wish that you could turn bloodstains off. And I wish that you could turn messages from other players off. Or ghosts that are running around in multiplayer off. I wish that you could do that, because if you could, I would turn bloodstains off and maybe messages off, and then I would play online.
Now, Freyja. Don't let it rile you up. Take it slow. Take it slow. Oh. Hello. I'm afraid I'm busy. Curse upon my lack of foresight. I should have asked Ansbach to impart his knowledge when I had the chance. I'm afraid I'm busy. Truly. I should have asked Ansbach to impart his knowledge when I had the chance.
Okay. Now we can head back down to Ansbach. And that's why I didn't rest at any of the sites of graces.
Will I ever make sense of this jungle?
I didn't rest at any of the sites of graces, so that way we could make it all the way down without needing to worry about killing the enemies again. But during the part of the run, didn't record it, by the way, but during a portion of one of my runs when I used the dueling shield, it was doing so well that I decided to play online. And I decided to help some people out. Just sending out this thing. And just offer help to people who needed it. And I helped a few people out. Bosses were surprisingly quite easy. And we dealt with some invaders, and I don't know if it's the weapon or like, I don't know if the dueling shield is just so good or if invaders are really bad. I know that it's not me being good because I am not good at these games. I'm alright, but not as good as I was performing against those invaders. But I destroyed the invaders with the dueling shield. It might be just because it's such a unique weapon that no one knew how to deal with it. But I didn't have it infused, I just kept it like this, just upgraded. Going with... I don't remember what level I was, but my strength and dex were both around 40. And I usually keep my health at like 40 to 60 I tend to keep endurance around 40, 45. Didn't really upgrade to anything else, though. So, hopefully that'll give a general idea of where my level was at. But, Ansbach.
Righteous Tarnished. It's been some time. There was one thought I could not dislodge from my mind. So, here I am, quite unable to move on. After Lord Moke's slaying at his dynastic palace, it appears his body has been absconded with and taken straight to kind Miquella. Surely you recall that I once served Lord Moog as a pureblood knight, after failing him in every regard and losing sight of my vows. I'd do anything to make amends, in whatever meager way I can. What could they possibly have in mind for Lord Moog's remains? The implications are rather unnerving. Freyja, by the gods. She must be feeling the need to reaffirm her allegiance before she heads to war. A true Redmane she is, hardly troubled by the rot, but no one is without their shortcomings. She has a hard road ahead. It does make one think. Perhaps our concerns are but two sides of the same coin. Well, what's this? Yes, I should have known. Even the truth was itself mere folly. As if using Lord Moog to gain entrance to the Land of Shadow were not enough, he plans to use his corpse as the vessel of his king consort. He has forsaken Lord Moog's soul. He desires only his empty shell. It beggars belief, but I'm afraid tender Miquella fails to grasp the humiliation implied by this act. One thing is certain. My dear lord deserved better. Righteous Tarnished. You have my gratitude. You have given me the answers I needed, but I can hardly fathom it. Such folly. Unto the end. I am a warrior, but I've aged. I cannot afford to act hastily. Curse it all. I know my limits. I could spend the rest of my life honing my craft, and still that creature would be out of my blade's reach. The absolute folly of it all. The absolute folly of it all.
Probably should have given him the secret right scroll first, because you can get a thing from him to give to Freyja, and it'll help Freyja out with her quest.
Righteous Tarnished. Could you please give this to Freyja? Thanks to you, she too will have the answers she requires. Freyja possesses a youth I no longer have. This knowledge will surely stoke the flames of valor within her. Yes. I can see her barreling into the fray right now. Perhaps I shouldn't meddle in her affairs, but this is the only way I can help.
Alright, so we got it, but if you tell her about Freyja's thing second, you don't need to reload the area to get that.
I'm afraid I'm busy. Truly. I should have asked Ansbach to impart his knowledge when I had the chance. From Sir Ansbach? To me? What on earth could it... Oh. Yes. Of course. I see. As the Festival of War concluded, General Radahn's soul met an honorable end, but kindly Miquella wishes to revive it, which is fine by me. I know it would pain old Jeren, but war has always suited General Radahn best, and certainly far more than any honorable death. Endless war to invigorate the soul, as befits General Radahn, the Great Lion. Thank you. Now I finally cast off my misgivings. Give my regards to Honorable Ansbach. Tell him, if we should meet in battle, to face your bow would be fine enough, but to face your blade would be an honor. All that remains is the fight, for our kind Miquella.
Right. Now we can head back to the first floor to go back to Ansbach. We can take this right path because it skips some enemies. Whoa. Nope. Even two-handed, it doesn't one-shot some enemies. Huh. I did not mean to do that. But now we can talk to Ansbach again.
Perhaps I shouldn't meddle in her affairs, but this is the only way I can help. I should have expected as much from Freyja. Some things simply never occur to her. Paralyzing fear. True despair. That's Freyja through and through. That's Freyja through and through.
And quitting the game may or may not have him move on. Or have Leda catch up. I may need to talk to her again. Yeah, I think I need to talk to her again. And then head back there. So that's how you get all their dialogue. And if you don't give Freyja the letter, she'll actually never move on, and she'll never join the Leda fight. And so simply not giving her Ansbach's letter will make the Leda fight easier. Just how not talking to Moore or telling him to be sad forever makes him not spawn in and makes that fight easier. And you still get their armor and stuff. It just appears at different locations. So you don't miss their weapons or you don't miss their weapons or their armor. You only miss dialogue, but it does make the fight easier. So you are free to make that decision for yourself.
Ah, there you are. Well fought. You have my gratitude. He was never going to see eye to eye with us, but his words were ill-founded. It was hard to hear, I know. I know I shouldn't let myself, but I suppose it's only natural to feel the weight of one's deeds at times like these. There's plenty left to be done, and I will see to it. Who else, I wonder? I don't enjoy casting suspicion on anyone I've called a comrade, but it's a small sacrifice in the grand scheme of things. We must eradicate all doubt. Who else, I wonder? I don't enjoy casting suspicion on anyone I've called a comrade, but it's a small sacrifice in the grand scheme of things. We must eradicate all doubt.
So that enhances dash attacks, which is the running ones. Did not mean to do that. We may have to reload the area and talk to her again. But we'll see. when we run back to Ansbach. Some of the details have kind of left my brain. Alright, so we need to talk to her again, yeah. Because I haven't played this. I mean, outside of the last 2 parts, I haven't played through the DLC in like 3.5 months.
Ah, there you are. I'm afraid Sir Ansbach will have to be next. He insists that he's nothing but a worn-down, over-the-hill soldier. But in his day, he was the feared commander of the pure-blood knights, who cleaved open Miquella the Kine with his blood blade. He claims he hasn't the spirit to take up his sword again, but I doubt it'll be very long before he recalls, as I have, the cascading sheets of blood. I'm afraid he cannot be left to fester. I've come to a realization. There's ample evidence. Without kindly Miquella's influence, I'm quite mistrustful of others. I've come to a... There's ample... I'm quite
So, now we can head back and either go with Ansbach or Leda. And I hold the personal opinion that going with Leda both times is a terrible idea, despite her being my favorite NPC during the initial run. The rewards of siding with her both times just aren't good. I'd say either go with Leda and then Ansbach, or go with Hornsent and then never deal with this fight at all. But I will let this dialogue play out.
Sir Ansbach, I will dispose of you. I find that I have a new apprehension. Your ambivalence, and exactly where it might lead you.
So, you would cull an old man such as I. You are thorough indeed, Lady Leda. I would expect nothing less. As you surmise, I do have my doubts, and will not simply lay down and die with them. Have you lost your wit? By my troth, you have no such debt to this old man. Though I gladly welcome your decision. Now I might even live to see the morrow.
So you've chosen your side, have you? Despite having no debt to the Lord of Blood. I suppose it was Sir Ansbach who won you over. Fine. One more heart for my blade to skewer. Perhaps I should have known not to challenge the two of you alone. I take my leave. For now.
Lady Leda, I ask you keep kindly Miquella in your care.
Right, 3 things. 1, the like half cape that his chest piece has. I don't know why, but I love, absolutely love those half capes. 2, if you side with Leda, I believe you get his armor set immediately, but then you lose access to his scythe, whereas if you help, you also get another talisman that enhances rolling attacks, I believe. But helping him now, you get the bow but not the armor set, but later on you'll get his armor set and his scythe. which is the best scythe in the game in my opinion. But I think we can end it here. We went through the entirety of the Shadow Keep, up to the 7th floor at least. There's a little bit more to go. Not a lot, but a little bit more to go. And we also did 2 of these little invasions, getting what I think is the best outcome personally. For items, we have gotten the aspects of the Crucible Thorns, the main Gauche, or main Gauche dagger, however you pronounce it, the Falx, the braided cord set, the Bolt Drake Talisman +3, the dueling shield, some upgrade materials, the Pearl Drake Talisman +3, the Golden Lion Shield, the Lacerating Crossed Tree, Ansbach's Longbow, and Leda's Rune. Oh, and real quick, the third thing is he wasn't using his scythe in the fight. He was using a rapier, which he doesn't use in a fight later, and you never get as a drop from him, so that's why I was running around looking at him, because I was like, where did this weapon come from? I've never seen that before. Even when doing that little invasion in previous runs, I don't think I've ever seen that. I think it was just him using his bow. Maybe he used it, but I just didn't notice, or I forgot, but anyways, that's all, so, yeah.